Hi guys, so before I begin, I'm sorry if you can hear that sound outside. People are like mowing the lawns and like drilling and shit. I don't know what's going on outside, but I really wanted to film today, so I'm really sorry if, you know, there's a loud sound. I'm sorry. So today I'm going to be filming my best and worst paranormal experiences, or best and scariest, favorite, scariest, whatever. Paranormal experiences video. It's not a tag. I don't know why I said it was a tag, but I mean, if you want to do this video, you can totally go ahead and do it. I'm not going to make it a tag. I'm rambling. There's no point. So basically, every single paranormal experience I've ever had, I can 100% guarantee you that it is in a video, in one of my videos. I can't tell you which one. I can for a few, but I guarantee you there is a video about every single one of my experiences. But I have this video requested all the time to do, you know, my best experiences or my worst experiences, my favorite, my scariest, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. And it stopped, yes. I sound like a dickhead if you can't hear that, but the mowing stopped is what I'm trying to say. Now it's really quiet. Anyway, I have 2 scariest / worst experiences and 3 best experiences. I'll go ahead and explain why I've put them in the categories that I have. So I'll start off with my worst ones, or my scariest ones. All of these happened when we lived at the unit that we did before this one, so just to give you a heads up, so I don't have to say that at the beginning of every story, oh, this happened over there. Yeah, these all happened before I moved into this unit. Okay, so the first one, I would say this is probably the scariest one, just because it freaked me out, something shocking. It is in a video, but I don't know which one it is, so I'm just going to say the stories again. I woke up in the middle of the night, and to give you like a basic layout of how my room was, if you were lying on my bed facing, like if you were just lying on your back on my bed, to your left would be like what are they called, like a built-in wardrobe that was covered in, like, it was 2 big mirrors, and that took up the same length as my bed, if that makes sense. So basically, if someone was standing in my room, you would see 2 of them because of the reflection in the mirror, because that's what mirrors do, right? You see your reflection. Yes. So anyway, now we've got that out of the way. So basically, like I said, if you're lying on your back, to your left is the mirrors. So I used to sleep on my side facing the mirrors, so when I would wake up I would see my reflection, basically. Okay, so I woke up and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I looked up, and basically parallel to my feet, or my knees, standing in between my bed and the wardrobe, was this man, and I can't remember what he was wearing. You can go look through for the experiences. For this experience in one of my videos, I can't remember what he was wearing. I think it was all black, I could be wrong. And he had blonde spiky hair. The only way I can describe what he looked like is if you watch True Blood, he looked a lot like Eric from True Blood. So if you don't know who that is, just Google it. And yeah, he had blonde hair, and it was like spiked up, like with gel. And he was looking at me directly in the eye, but his head was tilted back, and it was his mouth was open, and he was laughing at me, and he was glowing. And I know that sounds like a heap of shit, but it was not. And I woke up, and I was so, like, it literally looked like there was just a person, like he was just a full-on normal person. But the thing that was really weird is he had no reflection in the mirror. Like, there was just one of him, and I could see the rest of my room in the mirror, but I couldn't see his reflection, if that makes sense. So he was like standing in my room, but there was no reflection of him in the mirror. Like, you know how they say like vampires and shit have no reflection? That's what it was. That's funny that I just compared him to Eric from True Blood. He didn't really look like him, but that's how, he was really, really tall, and Eric from True Blood is really tall. Yeah, so this man that I saw was fucking huge. Like, he was like probably over 6'5" or something. He was giant. And yeah, I was totally awake because I completely lost my shit and I was freaking out. Yeah, that is hands down probably the most scariest thing I've ever had happen to me. My top is really annoying me right now, and I don't know why. Okay, so yeah, that's probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. But another thing that happened that was pretty freaky was I was walking my dog Allie, and I don't know how to explain what my unit block is like, but basically we have an area where there's like washing lines and grass and stuff, and that's where I take Allie to go to the toilet. So this happened a long while ago, but anyway, She was just, you know, doing her doggy business, sniffing shit, you know, what dogs do. And I was just in my own world, you know, I wasn't listening to music or anything. I was just like zoned out. I don't know what I was doing. And I heard a little girl's voice say, hello. And I was like looking around because it scared the absolute shit out of me, because for number one, there are no little girls that live in my unit block. There's only 42 units in my unit block, and like you basically see everyone come and go, and I can guarantee you that there is no little girls in my unit block. No, there's one, but she's Indian and she has a really, really thick Indian accent, and it was not her, because this little girl didn't have an accent, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so I heard a hello, and I was looking around, you know, like, where the fuck did that come from? And then as soon as I looked directly in front of me, it was like, hi! And I was like, oh my god. I was like, holy shit. And as soon as she, the little girl that I couldn't see, mind you, there was no one in front of me, obviously, said hi, Ali was like kind of like behind me, doing her own thing, and as soon as the little girl said hi, her ears like perked up, and she ran in front of me and was trying to pull the lead, and she was wagging her tail, and she only does that when there's someone there. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And the next bit is gonna like give you chills. Like every time I talk about it, I get like goosebumps just thinking about it. She said, you can't see me, but your dog can. And this is like, I'm having a conversation with a completely, totally there person, except for the fact that there's no one there. I couldn't see anything. I could just hear this voice clear as day. You can't see me, but your dog can. And Ali was going ballistic. She was wagging her tail, and she doesn't do that unless there's someone there. And even if there is someone there, she usually is scared by people. She's a really timid dog. So for her to be pulling on the lead and wagging her tail is so out of character for her. Even if there was someone there, she would be barking, or like, it was just a really bizarre experience. So as soon as she said that, I literally was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And I just piss bolted, which means ran really fast, because I know I have people that sometimes totally have no idea what I'm saying, because in Australia supposedly we say like funny things, but yeah, whatever. I ran really fast, okay, all the way back home, and I was like freaking out, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So yeah, that's probably the other scariest thing that's ever happened to me. So the best experiences that I've had, I have three. The first one is, I don't know if this is necessarily paranormal, but I think it's just kind of got to do with energies and stuff, but is one of the coolest things that has happened, so I think that's why I'm including it basically. So when Mum and I first moved over to the other unit block where all these have happened, she got really, really sick, but it was just with this persistent dry cough that she had for months and months and months. But the weird thing is, she only had it when she was inside the house. If she would go to work or go to the shops or go put the washing out or go wherever, anywhere other than inside the house, her cough would be gone. As soon as she got home, she'd start coughing. You know, she was having coughing fits where she couldn't breathe. We ended up in the hospital twice because of it. And then as soon as she'd get to the hospital, she'd be perfectly fine. It was really, really bizarre. And I was like thinking to myself, you know, this is getting absolutely ridiculous. There has to be a way that I can, you know, cleanse the air, if you know what I mean. So I was researching stuff, and I came across smudging with sage, like where you burn sage. And it's an old American Indian, I think, not tradition, but, you know, a way to kind of cleanse the air of bad energies and stuff. So if you want to know more about it, Google it, because I don't know any more than what's on like one website, because that's all I did when I was going to do it. So I researched into it, and in Australia we have a store called Tree of Life, and they basically just sell like heaps of hippie stuff, and they sell sage there. So I went and bought sage. It was like $12. Came home, researched more about like how to do it correctly and stuff, and basically you start at the front door of your house, and it's either you work clockwise or anti-clockwise, I can't remember, through your house, and then go into every room, blah 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 blah, and then you should end back up at your front door again. And while we were going through the house, I was saying, you know, I only want positive energy in here. Whatever's in here making my mum sick, can you please leave? We only want positive energy. you know, just going through saying stuff like that. And I kid you not, as soon as we entered back at the front door and we finished, my mum did not cough again. And I am not joking you. She had this cough for months and months and months. And she was like trying medicine, everything, nothing was working. As soon as I finished saging, like as soon as my two front feet, I only have 2 feet. What? As soon as my 2 feet got back to the front door, she did not cough again. And it felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I could just feel that the air in my house was so much better. So that was really, really cool. So, you know, if anything like that is happening to you, or you just feel like you should, you know, the energy isn't nice, or it's just really thick, thick energy, you know what I mean. Look into smudging your house with sage. It's not like anything religious or anything, you know, and it worked for me, so I don't know. The next thing that happened, these experiences that are to do with this one thing that I'm telling you, I am totally making no sense. They happened over a period of time. So yeah, to give you a little backstory, one of my really good friends, he died when I was in grade 5, so I was 9 or 10, I can't remember how old I would have been, but I was pretty young. So yeah, that's like the backstory of this story that I'm about to tell you. So basically, for a period of, I don't know, 6 months, really, really weird stuff would happen with the electrical, like with lights and radios and stuff like that. And it started pretty much as soon as we moved into the unit and lasted for 6 months-ish, give or take a few. So the first thing that happened, and these are all related, which is why there are different experiences, but they all come together, and I will explain why in a second. Basically, I think it was like the first night or the second night we had been in that unit, I had like a little portable radio, but it took batteries. It wasn't plugged in or anything, and it actually had no batteries in it because it was broken, and every time Mum and I put batteries in it, we couldn't get it to work. And so it was right next to my bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night to, like, you know when you're flicking through radio stations and you're in a part that there's no radio station and it's called white noise, and it's just like shh, that sound. Basically, I woke up to the radio on full blast. The radio, mind you, was only like the size of an iPhone, it wasn't big. Full blast white noise, and I was like, what the fuck? And you know how, I don't know how to explain it. Okay, if you have a straightener, right, and it's got that little dial for the heat, that is what the radio was like for the volume. But to turn it on, it was still a dial, but you had to like keep turning it till you heard a click, and then it was on, and then you were going for the volume. So basically it had to be clicked on, it couldn't just go on by itself, if that makes sense. And when I like got out of bed and realized what the fuck that noise was, I realized that the radio had actually physically, the dial had been turned to click the radio on. So that was pretty freaky. And then after that, basically, long story short, lights were flickering and blowing, like light bulbs were blowing all the time. The dining room light had a dimmer, like a dimming knob. I hate that word, knob. Dimming knob. I'm just gonna say it once more, knob. Okay, now we've got that out of the way. It had that on the switch, but it didn't work. So I'd be sitting in the lounge room, and the lounge room light would dim all the way down till it was almost off, and then it'd be like bright, really bright, brighter than what it normally is. I'd go into my room, flick my light on, and the light bulb would blow. I'd turn a lamp on, the light bulb would blow. My bedroom light would turn on and on by itself. The lounge, like all the lights would just do really, really weird shit. And we had an electrician in. We didn't say why we wanted him to check everything. We just said, can you check to make sure everything is fine electrically? I don't know. In this house, we didn't say, oh, because you know the lights are turning on and off. We didn't say that. All we said was, can you just make sure everything, the wiring and everything is a-okay? So he checked everything out, and he said it was pristine condition. There was nothing wrong with any of the wiring. So to be told by an electrician that there's nothing wrong, yet we're having all this stuff, I don't know. I was kind of like freaked out a little bit by it. And another thing that used to happen as well, was with my ex-boyfriend Sean. I'm pretty sure I have a video on this as well, I don't know. When we first got Allie, when she was a puppy, he would take his shoes and socks off and she'd take his socks. So he started putting his socks like into his shoes so she couldn't take them, basically. And he'd go to leave sometimes and his socks wouldn't be in his shoes, or there'd be one sock missing. And it wouldn't be Allie because she had been with us the whole time, kind of thing. So I would leave the room and I'd be like, can you please give Sean's socks back? He needs to leave, basically, like if you have to go home. And we'd go back into the room and they'd be lying on the bed. Like really weird shit like that. And I was like, okay, obviously this is not normal, but I didn't know what it was. And then one day, it was the first psychic I'd ever been to. I went to her with my mum, and kind of very long story short, the psychic told my mum and I, well, told me that she was like, are you having really weird electrical things going on? And she was basically telling me the experiences that I had been experiencing. And she said, it's Daniel. And I was like, what? So basically, none of the experiences that I just told you were anything profound, but having been told that it was one of my good friends that died when I was 9 is behind it. I just kind of, like, I have goosebumps right now. You probably can't see them, but I have goosebumps when I talk about it. It's just, like, nice. Do you know what I mean? So that's why that's in one of my favorites, and now I have goosebumps. The last experience that I have to tell you, I have a separate video. I have a video like dedicated to this story, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. It's called My Grandmother's Voice. Cut a super long story short, I say that all the time, and then the video takes 20 minutes. My grandpa has got really bad Alzheimer's, and when Mum and I were like packing all our shit up to move into this unit, we were sitting on the couch talking about what we were going to do. Like, his Alzheimer's is so bad to the point where he doesn't know who we are, he has no idea what day it is, he doesn't know anything basically. And Mum and I were sitting on the couch, we'd been packing all day, so we were just like basically collapsed on the couch and we were just talking. And Mum got up from the couch and went into the kitchen, and she was making like a drink or something, or she was getting a cup of tea, I don't know. And she said to me something along the lines of, if you want to know exactly what was said, go watch the video because I can't remember. But she said something along the lines of like, should we put him in a nursing home, or, you know, just weighing up all the options. But she said something about putting him in a nursing home. And I was just about to say, like, don't do that, why the fuck would you put him in a nursing home, when a woman's voice said, don't do that, or don't put him in one. I think it was don't put him in one. I can't remember. And the voice was my grandma's voice. And the way that I know that is she had a really unique voice where I've never heard any other old woman's voice sound like hers. It was really husky, and just the tone in which she spoke, just her voice in general was really unique to her. So the fact that I heard her voice, like she conversed with my mum and I, and it was with the topic of conversation that we were talking about, I don't know, it just I don't know, it mind boggles me to think that it was her voice. Like, we didn't hear anything, we didn't see anything or anything like that, but after that had happened, my mum was sitting on the couch and she just got like a feeling that she was around. So I don't know, but they're my best and worst experiences. I filmed this video twice. I've already filmed this once before, so I can't remember. I didn't like how the other one turned out, but I don't remember if I've already said this in the video or not. But anyway, even if I have, I'm going to say it again. I don't like saying like my best and worst experiences, because I think, you know, I am privileged to experience what I do experience. I don't necessarily see it as a burden, but I've been asked to do this video, so I categorize them, you know, in like my favorite ones that have ever happened and the ones that have actually scared me the most. Having said that, again, I guarantee you that they still scare me. I'll experience something and I will still get scared, but the ones that have scared me and stuck with me the longest, that like still freak me out to talk about, is the ones that I just said. So yeah, I'm gonna go now, and I hope everyone's doing great. My Instagram, Twitter and stuff will be down below. You should follow me on Instagram because I've started using it and I'm like really into it and I need to stop. But yeah, all the links and stuff are always down below. So I hope everyone is doing great, and I will talk to you later. Bye.